So you're riding the wave, you're hitting the valleys, you're hitting the peaks. And kind of when I came to Arizona the first time, a couple months ago, what happened when the virus hit and the business got out in front of itself? Like what were kind of the atom bomb, you would say, in your business, kind of the things that took place?
So we were running really hot. I had most deals I've ever had in escrow. We had 10 contracts that we were working on, and some of them we were actually going to keep. The other ones we were trying to wholesale. And it was like we kind of got hit out of nowhere with the whole COVID thing. It was like one day everyone was buying and like we could get, long-term money. And the next it was like, we're not buying those kind of deals anymore. Like, so it was a lot of going back to the sellers and trying to renegotiate. And if they didn't renegotiate, cancel. And so we got our earnest money back, and just explaining to them, this is what's going on with the investor world. And so we had 2 of those 10 closed and all the other ones fell apart. And I was so attached with my self-worth and my mindset to how the business was doing that once the business shit, my mindset shit. And it was like I was already kind of going through like a burnout path, because I was very intense when I get into something. I focus on it. I go 100 miles an hour into it, and I want to redline the Porsche. It's, I don't like just gradually breaking the car in. Like I want to redline it right away. And so that was what I tried to do with the business, and you can't do that. And so I was also doing that with myself, getting up super early, 3:30 in the morning for a long time. I was getting up at that time and running a routine and not really sleeping or catching up on my sleep. And so I started getting mentally burnt out, and I was in the sales rut too. I couldn't get some of the deals to close that I thought were closable deals. And so that put me in like this whole, like, am I even supposed to keep doing this? Like, do I need to go figure something else out? Should I go back to selling real estate? Like, what should I do here?
And I got a front row seat to that party.
Yeah.
So, because we were spending a lot of time together at that point, and you were in a dark place, and the podcast I just recorded, you were playing a zero-sum game where you said it already. Your identity was wrapped up in the success of the business, and instead of your why and your goals being so much greater, it's just building a lifestyle, right? And that's what happens with people, because they just get knocked down, and then it just is like this massive domino that just chips away at every little part of your life. And it's not like Alec, the person, doesn't want to do great. But when, like, I'll use it as a reference point, as when the cruise ship hits the iceberg, how quickly do you get back up? But that's not even the end of it, baby. Because I got a phone call a couple weeks later and it got worse. So COVID hits, your business is falling apart. You have to start letting people go. And then what happens next?
Sure. And that was tough, like making that decision to, we let go 5 people, I think, and just went down to me and my business partner running it. And I was kind of struggling to get my energy back. Like I felt like I wasn't me. I couldn't get up at the time that I normally was getting up. I couldn't even get up before 5 o'clock, which I had been getting up at 5 o'clock for the last 2 years, if not even before that. And I started getting up at 6, 7 o'clock, just trying to recharge my body, which was necessary at the time. You can't run 100 miles an hour forever. You have to eventually slow down a little bit and just recharge. So that was what I was trying to do. And then, that phone call that you got, it was, I also run a mastermind with 10 or 15 real estate investors here. And I was at that. And then I got back to my office and went and said what's up to my business partner. And he had actually just gotten a job a week before. And lo and behold, he never told me that he was going to be getting a job. He just got the job. And then I found out because I saw his computer in his office. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't want to tell you yet, but I got a job. Okay, whatever, no worries. It's like, I'm still going to do this. Don't worry about it. Well, a week later, when I got home from the mastermind, I sat down in his office, I was eating my Chick-fil-A, and he's like, so how you doing, man? I was like, I'm good, just trying to bounce back. And like, cool. Well, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, we've got a lot of debt, and like we haven't been getting deals, and like I just don't think it's a good idea to keep going into debt without deals coming in, and I just don't want to do this anymore. I was like, okay. And he's like, you don't seem very upset, so it sounds like you've been thinking that. And I was like, well, no, I mean, I just got kind of like caught off guard. Like, how do you expect me to react? And then, yeah, I was like, okay, well, I just kind of got up and left and called you, and I called Jesse, and it's like, actually, no. So I called Jesse right after I left, and then I called you on my way over to Jesse's, and because I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to fucking do. Like,